Cowboys got Byakuya, Tonberry's got Soifun. As for me, I've got Kisuke Urahara. But even though he's my favorite character in the manga, it doesn't mean I'm gonna give him any sort of special treatment in this rewind. Time to figure out if mine Kisuke is still viable. Now as always, I began with a normal attack damage build, and this Kisuke's nat is actually really fast. Unfortunately, that's about all he has. While his attack is decent at 630, the only magnification it has is a plus 10 bruiser, which is not that much at all. And while it does hit incredibly fast, its range is absolutely terrible. Now he does have a plus 10 long reach, but you can barely tell. You have to get really up close and personal to the enemies to be able to hit them, and even then you're not doing that much damage. I will say that the fact that his strong attack 2 is a vortex move does kinda help, but it doesn't last for very long, so you don't have too much time to attack. So yeah, in the end this build isn't viable. Which is a shame because it's actually one of the faster nat strings that I've seen, and maybe giving him extra range would have actually made it viable, but as it really is not. Now next up was the strong attack damage build, and I had a little bit more hope for this one. Sure, his SP isn't as high as his attack, but he does have a strong attack damage link. I mean, it is rare for a Kisuke to have a good link, so maybe this is viable. Unfortunately, I was wrong. At first it kinda looked promising because the strong attack 1 was knocking out some enemies instantly, but it was only those with the least amount of health. And in the end it took more than 3 strong attacks to take out some of the tougher enemies, which should never ever be a thing. Seriously, his strong attack 3 isn't great. And while his strong attack 2 can do a decent amount of damage and inflict poison, his strong attack 1 is still the better one, I think. And to top it all off, once you use them, you have to wait for them to recharge, and you're stuck with a normal attack that sucks. So yeah, this build is not viable. Now finally we have the strong attack recharge build, and I was going in this build expecting not to like it. After all, my damage on the last build sucked, so this couldn't have been any better. But I was a little incorrect. It was a better build, if only for the fact that it let you spam your vortex move and let you use your strong attack 1 frequently. Now don't get me wrong, it's still not a viable build. However, it is the most enjoyable and the most usable. I did actually end up making it to the raid boss, and because it was in a spot, I was able to take him out pretty quickly. But the trip there took longer than any other build, and I placed the blame largely on Kisuke's killer. Because it's an Espada killer, you don't really have the advantage of extra damage against regular enemies. And while this isn't a big deal in a regular 5-star raid, when you get to things like inheritance zones or droplet zones or even some of the Senkaimon quests, it actually plays a much bigger role, as your killer multiplied doesn't really mean anything unless you're up against the boss. So yeah, in the end, this build isn't viable either. It breaks my heart because he is my favorite character, but this Kisuke is no longer viable. Though he does have one of the coolest specials in the game, and it hits pretty hard, the rest of him isn't that great. And while yes, we do have a new manga Kisuke that more than makes up for this one, I still kinda wish we had a good Kisuke with the hat. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what other characters you want to see in a rewind.